Hey sports fans, I just want to take a moment to give a big shout out to Thompson Performance. If you're looking to take your game to the next level and prepare for the demands of college athletics, Thompson Performance is the place to be. Their tailored training programs are designed to help athletes like you push past limits and unlock your full potential. You can reach Thompson Performance at their Instagram on screen or click the link down below. Welcome back to the fourth quarter finish. Today I am here with Aryn Taylor. He is a pitcher for Davenport University this upcoming season, and he was a starter for Caledonia baseball. Aryn, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
You're our first in-person interview. I hope everybody likes the setup. We are experimenting, as always. We are always trying to innovate here at Fourth Quarter Finish, but we thought nobody better to talk to than Aryn, who's got obviously a lot coming up.
Yeah, I got a lot coming from Caledonia, just a lot of exciting stuff coming up. So I'm looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. So, getting right into it, we always start off the same way on this show with the icebreaker.
Yeah.
So, obviously, avid baseball family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, if you had to pick one player from the 2010 era, who would you say is your favorite player?
Well, that'd be easy. I'd have to go with Miguel Cabrera, the Triple Crown winner, the MVP. Like, how can you go wrong?
You can't go wrong with it. And, for you, how did that, Triple Crown season really resonate with you? Because, obviously you were still young, but I mean, that's something that we haven't seen in a really long time.
Yeah, it resonated with me because I'll just give a little backstory. When I was growing up, I used to watch the Tigers games every single day with my family, and I would write down the counts on my notepad, and I would keep score, and I would just keep how many team had how many hits, how many hits Miguel Cabrera had specifically, and I would just always count that. So it resonated with me pretty heavily because I've always been a big Tigers fan, loved the Tigers. They're a great team, and we got big things coming in the future, but it really resonated with me because Miguel Cabrera, he's a special player, and special players do special things. So we haven't seen something like that in a long, long time. But to be able to see that in my lifetime, it just felt really special and kind of sat with me. It was like, this is a cool thing we get to see, and not everybody in their lifetime sees a Triple Crown hitter.
No.
So
it was something that you kind of look back and you go, wow, someone hit three, in the mid 300s.
Yeah.
And Miguel Cabrera did that for an entire season.
Right.
I mean, that's just great with the home run power to go with it.
Right.
Plus, he was a plus first base defender for the most part.
When he played.
Yeah, when he played,
before he was a big DH guy.
Yeah, before he was the big DH, but just incredible guy to model, your early years after, obviously, inspiration wise. But Miguel, we love you if you're watching this. So, anyways, moving forward, growing up with, just some kid that might be pitching for the Houston Astros minor leagues, how did that, help you, and how did you help him get to where you guys both are currently?
Okay. Yeah, I think it was a combination of things, but our parents they never pushed us to do things we didn't want to do. Baseball was always our first love. So we just always wanted to do that. Our parents were always really supportive and everything, which just really helped. But I think it just comes down to competition. I always wanted to be better than him. He always wanted to be better than me. And I always had to work extra hard because he had those 5 years on me. He still does.
Right.
So he has those years on me. So I think it really, both of us working together helped kind of bond us in a way.
Right.
But then also we were very competitive. There's definitely some fights. There's definitely some drama. But it was good, and we pushed each other, I would say. That's
fantastic. I'm sure that you guys never had, any kind of pitching competitions or anything like that. Definitely not a brotherly thing to do.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's awesome. And hearing how you guys were able to support each other through competition is really a common theme with, I hear, a lot of brothers. So I think there's some kind of commonality between, brothers going big in that kind of way, both of you being excellent at your sports, and that's awesome to hear. So, relationship on the baseball field type of things, what go deeper into competition wise, what did you guys compete at most?
Yeah, so as we're both pitchers, right? So we mainly, it would be each start, we're each trying to outdo each other. So if he throws 6 scoreless innings, I'm trying to throw 7 scoreless innings. So it always it pushed us, you know what I mean? It definitely brought us closer together because, we're brothers. We're going to love each other, right?
course.
But it's different when you have something collectively to bond you together too. And I just hope everyone has something like that with their family.
It's really special what you guys have got going on, obviously. I mean, not many people get to say, hey, we were both pitchers and we're both pitching still, and we both are doing great things. And the competition, like I said, is such a unique thing that you guys get to do, being the same position, which unique is the best way to say it. So Aryn, obviously growing up, when did you know pitching was going to be like your position, your career? When did you make that decision?
Yeah, well, I have two answers to that. I'll go first one. It was mainly I loved Justin Verlander growing up. He was my favorite pitcher. He's also an MVP. So
yes,
and Cy Young, obviously, he's won multiple. But I've loved Justin Verlander. He was my favorite pitcher. I always wanted to be just like him. So that kind of grew my love for pitching more than hitting. And my second answer would be when hitting got too hard.
That's so true. Yeah, it's like pitches are coming a lot faster now, and I don't like this as much.
Right. I still hit in high school, but I definitely wasn't as easy as it used to be.
No.
I would rather be on the side throwing the balls at people than the other way around. So
yeah, it's a little different when you're sitting there, and you got 90s, 80 mid 80s, 90s coming at you in the box, and it's a different view from the box versus from the mound, obviously. So I could see why you'd like pitching. Yeah. I personally would have loved to have pitched when I played. No, you don't want to see me pitch. Don't ask for pictures. Don't ask for videos of that. Nobody wants to see it. Okay, we'll stick to watching this guy pitch and his brother pitch because they actually know how to. So
we try.
Yes. So with JV being kind of your pitching inspiration, are there any things from his game that you tried to model yourself after in your own game?
I would say just what he does really well is he attacks hitters. He doesn't get behind in counts. He doesn't walk guys a lot. So what I would say is the way I try to be like him is I try to get ahead in the count. I try to because then you have the advantage. An 0-2 is way different than a 2-0. So and if you try to make it as difficult on the hitter as possible, and I think that's what he does very well. So I try to kind of model and emulate that.
Gotcha. Is there any so with that being said, with attacking, are there any of his pitches that you also tried to kind of replicate maybe a little bit yourself?
Yeah, I actually throw his cutter, his exact cutter. So we both throw the same cutter. So I try to kind of emulate him off that. He doesn't throw a sinker, but he taught me a sinker. So he taught me how to throw it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're in ties with JV. So yeah. I mean, a guy that has won MVP as a pitcher is kind of a good guy to model your game after. So I don't think you're having a problem with that. And also, he was just so dominant when he pitched, like you said, attacking people, but the stamina to also go a lot of times complete games.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you look forward to as well?
Yeah, I try. I mean, it's a different game nowadays than it was 20 years ago. Pitchers aren't going as deep into games. It's more emphasis on velocity and spin, but I try to start what I finish. So you go out there each time and you basically, I give it my all, and I try to give my team a chance to win and go out there and hopefully win.
And that's really all we can ask for.
Right.
As the guys behind you or the guys in the outfield is just, hey, pitch, do your thing, man. Do it the way you do it up there. Strike out a lot of guys, hopefully, and make our lives easier.
Right. The goal is to hopefully make the defense not work as hard.
Yes, exactly. Make the defense's life easy. That is a great motto for a pitcher to have. Moving into now your high school career, which was a thrilling high school career, may I say.
Thank you.
Obviously getting to, Davenport, we'll get to that later, but you don't just get to Davenport by, sitting around. So you did some really good things. So what would you say is one of your highlight moments from Caledonia as a pitcher?
Okay, yeah, I would probably say going 6 innings against Hudsonville, who was, at the time, they were in our conference. So now we're not. Now Caledonia is not in that conference, but back when we were, so it was a big rivalry game, right? We don't like them, they don't like us. And my JV year, I pitched 6 scoreless innings. And, I mean, it's JV, but, still, I'll take it. Then had the 2 doubles that ended up scoring our only run that we won on. So it was a good experience, and I enjoyed that a lot.
It sounds like you kind of did it all that game.
I guess.
You took the game over a little bit. So
something like that.
Hitting wise, you said you weren't really you you'll do hitting, but it's not like, pitching where it's
right. It's not my emphasis.
It's not your emphasis, right? So, with that being said, was that your best hitting game, you would say?
Probably not. I've had a couple of 4-hit games, so I'd probably go with those. But
it was a good one.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
That one was. I do remember that, not just for the pitching, but because the hits were like we needed them. It wasn't like a blowout or we're one way or the other. We're smoking them, they're smoking us. Like it wasn't like that where it didn't really matter. It mattered.
It was clutch hitting, that's the best kind of hitting. Is when you get those clutch hits and
just moments, like Miguel Cabrera,
like McGee. That's right. And that's the best feeling in the world, I'm sure. So I'm sure there was,
and maybe it's a close tie. Maybe striking out a batter feels better. I don't know, but
batters in the comments, I will sure Aryn will debate you right now. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, looking back to your high school career now, what were some of the toughest innings that you faced that you think you can remember, or toughest game you had?
Yeah, I'd probably say it was a rivalry game this year against Jenison. They're ranked, we were ranked a little bit below them, so we're trying to take their spot, right? And it's a conference game, so it matters. And I would say I had a 4th inning against Jenison where I had to throw 45 pitches because my team we made some errors, so it just didn't go my way, but I would say that was definitely the toughest inning.
That was the tough one.
Yeah.
Did it really teach you anything? In those moments, like what are you thinking? As a pitcher.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, can we make a freaking out first? But then second, I'm like, well, it taught me to keep working, and eventually it will end, and it did end. And it's the same way in life. You got to weather the storm sometimes. So that's kind of what I try to do: fan the flames a little bit, do the best you can, and that's all you can ask.
Just grind through it, right? Just grind through it. There's only one way out, and that's just keep going. Right. So that's obviously something unique.
Right. There's no giving up in this life.
There's no giving up in this life, and there's no giving up in baseball either.
Right.
You just can't. Even if you're down 12 runs, it doesn't matter. You got to just keep swinging. You got to keep throwing. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
So, obviously Caledonia was such a special place to you. Is there anything that you want to say to the community, about how they supported your baseball team, how they supported you throughout your career? I always like to give you guys an opportunity to kind of give back to the community, maybe a sentence or two.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd just like to thank especially my family, but everyone, my grandparents, and just any locals who are just watching the game or whatever. But I want to thank them for the opportunity to be able to play the game and to be able to enjoy it, to have people come watch the games. It really means a lot, and your support means everything.
That's fantastic. And I don't think anybody could have said it better. It's friends, family, and the community is so huge to so many people. So thank you so much for that. Absolutely everything. So Aryn, obviously, getting into the off-season stuff, because, you're in between Caledonia and Davenport now. So, training, how are you preparing this off-season for obviously what's upcoming?
Right. Yeah. So a lot of it is eating, trying to eat right, trying to get a lot of protein in, just trying to get some food in, and I would say lifting weights and throwing, working on mechanics are big.
Yes.
So I put an emphasis on pitching mechanics. I try to be as smooth, as fluid as possible to limit injuries, and also just to obviously maximize velocity and output as much as you can, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you got to get up to those 95, 96,
Maybe someday.
I was going to say 103, that's pushing it.
Yeah, that's not easy.
That's not easy. No, it's not easy.
We're not all Tarek Scooble.
No, we're not Scooble, and I don't think many people on this planet are. So, obviously, eating right is such a huge part. So, what would be your favorite, healthy meal, right? I guess training healthy meal right now.
Honestly, I'm usually a pretty plain food kind of guy. So I'd have to go with just either some protein oats. That's not necessarily a meal, but it's a good snack.
It's a good snack.
Yeah, or some chicken with a protein bar or something.
Chicken, yeah,
that's some chicken breast that you can't really go wrong.
You can't go wrong with chicken.
Put a little seasoning on it. Try not to put too many calories in sauce, but you try. But
you can't go wrong with the sauce though, because it just adds so much flavor.
No, it does. I try as much as possible to not do too much, because I don't want to add 200 calories in sauce.
Exactly, right? Then you really will look like Scooble, because he's about 240 right now.
He's big.
He's a big guy.
He's big.
It's
working out. So.
It's working out. Maybe that's where he gets all his power, is that extra weight.
Maybe.
Obviously, big fans of, Scooble and what he does, but your training program, what would you say your favorite, workout right now is for as so far as getting you prepared for the next level?
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoy squatting. So I think squatting is a big one. Even I even enjoy front squat, believe it or not, which a lot of people don't like. So that might be a hot take, but
That's a hot take.
yeah. But I enjoy squatting a lot, and I think it prepares your legs, it prepares your core, it does a little bit of everything. So I don't think you can go wrong.
That's crazy. That is a real
Yeah.
like flaming hot take. We're gonna have people in the comments with pitchforks
Yeah.
just rioting and rioting. It's okay though. We'll
Yeah.
take it. Front
Yeah.
squat. It's for some people.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
definitely not for me.
for baseball, it's big. You front squat a lot. So you got to get those fingers and those hands and your wrists and forearms. You got to get them a little stronger too with your legs. So forearms big for or front squat is big for baseball. So
That's true. That's true. I can't argue with the guy that's playing at Davenport right now. So I won't go too hard on you about the front squat. But going to Davenport University, which is obviously a local school around us, but what went into that decision? Was it the program? Was it was the program, the academics? Was it the community? What kind of drew you to Davenport?
yeah. So there's a couple things, but we'll start with the baseball side. What really drew me in was definitely Coach Tidy. He kind of sold me. He's a great guy. He's a great coach. I'm really excited to play for him, and I mean, they win. So you want to play for a winner, right? Like that's what you want to do, and they've shown that they can do that. So it really excited me because I'm like, I can go here and be in a winning program, right? So I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoy Coach Tidy and just the fields. The fields are gorgeous.
Oh.
The facilities are gorgeous. Like everything about it is just perfect. And then on the other hand, academics, they have a really good business program. They're known for their business. That's what I'm going into, either that or sports management, which they're similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that kind of sold me too. It's like I know I can get a good degree while I'm here too. So that helped.
That's a huge thing, obviously.
Yeah.
And Coach Tidy, everybody knows about Coach Tidy right now. Obviously, he had one heck of a season last year, and I think he's going to be pretty excited to get you on that pitching staff that already was pretty darn good last year.
Hopefully.
So obviously, having a big tall guy throwing on the mound is always a good thing to have. So
Yeah.
Davenport wise, how do you see yourself kind of like fitting into what their plans are currently? What do you think you can bring to Davenport?
Yeah, I think I can bring to the table a lot of strikes, a lot of energy, and just hard work. Like I'm gonna put my nose to the grindstone. I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna give you my all, and I hope that they know that that's what they're getting and that's what they're in for, no matter what. So
Sounds like they're getting themselves a bulldog.
hopefully,
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean,
So
I like to think of myself as one, but I don't want to get too big of a head.
that's
so.
right. That's right. Hey, it's okay. It's Scooble's mantra is the bulldog, and I
Yeah.
think that's what a lot of pitchers are going towards now. Is
Yeah.
that kind of just downhill bulldog type mentality where they're just going to throw you their best stuff, and that's what you're going to get.
Right.
That's just an awesome
And
mentality.
with his stuff being so good, he can get away with a lot of other stuff too.
Yes, he can. We have seen many a changeup go down the middle.
Oh,
and
yeah. And
nobody
no one
touches
hits
it.
it. Nope.
Nope. So it's
'Cause it's 91 miles an hour or something insane.
it's crazy. Just his differential is crazy too, because he
Yeah.
can throw a 90, 91, 92 mile an hour changeup, and then he can drop it down to 88, 87 like that.
And then he can throw a 94 mile an hour slider, or sometimes it's 90, sometimes it's 94.
And then you get the heater, and that's killer.
That's the moneymaker.
That's the moneymaker. That thing, when he's on and it's on the black,
It's unhittable.
It's unhittable. Anyways, we could talk about Scooble for hours because he's amazing. But obviously, how have you been preparing mostly from this jump from high school to college? Obviously there's going to be more talented hitters because that's just the way things are. Is as you keep going, you're going to face better and better guys. That have better eyes, better bat speed. How are you preparing mentally and physically for those challenges?
Yeah, so mentally, I would say I'm preparing where I'm just trying to take it day by day, moment by moment, control what I can control. It's the same way when you're on the mound. You can't control errors behind you. Like I said, we had that one game where we just had a lot of errors, and yeah, it frustrates you, but you can't control that. You just got to keep going. And physically, I'm going to be preparing as much as possible, lifting weight, eating right. And I'm not perfect at it, but I try. But for the most part, I eat healthy. And then, you might see me with ice cream sometimes, but
I mean, it's ice cream.
yeah, we all have to go for some ice cream. We all love ice cream.
You got to treat yourself sometimes.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, this hot weather that we're currently in,
my God.
ice cream sounds real good about right now.
It sounds perfect. Yeah.
But obviously, that's fantastic. And, has Davenport communicated anything, like inside wise, what they would like to see you work on? Like, are there any like strength things or, lower body things? Like, give us like maybe one tidbit about maybe what they're looking to see from you.
Yeah. So they're looking to see a lot of strikes, but they're looking to see my velo get up a little bit. I'm like 84 to 88 on a good day, but usually 84 to 86, 87. And they're looking to get that up to about like 90 to 92 or so. So I'd say that's definitely what they're looking for.
That would be really solid. 92 would be nice, solid fastball.
That would be.
And you'd be catching up to Andrew there from
what
I remember.
Be.
So
that's the goal always. So
that's the goal. The competition comes back. So
it's always there.
It's always there. That's right. Everybody's got to have their, Michael versus Kobe, right. So that's it's kind of what, you're Kobe. So
well, I hope I'm Jordan, but
you're gonna be Jordan one day.
Hopefully.
That's what I think. So
that's the plan.
That's the plan. So going back to Andrew in that competition, what would you say is one of the best pieces of advice Andrew has given you? Maybe about your career or maybe about pitching. What's something that is really memorable?
It comes back to life, but also on the mound. Like he's taught me like through bad innings. We've talked after some outings where you just have a rough inning, and he taught me that you can't change the past, and you can't change the past and to be resilient. So he taught me, especially pitching. That's kind of where it started with pitching, right? That's where a lot of it starts in my family. But,
of course.
Yeah. But it starts there, and then it can leak over to the regular parts of your life. Like you have a rough day, right? But you don't give up. You keep going. For me, it would be keep going to school. You have a rough day at school or practice or whatever, but you keep going. And I think he taught me that through the game, and then it kind of leaned into life.
Exactly. And as Andrew's been through some things, obviously, in the past few years with injuries. And so I'm sure you've seen how he's battled back from those things and how, he can battle back at the level he's at. So why can't I do, anything like that? I'm sure that you see those things and that just inspires you to just continue to be great. And that's, again, part of the competition thing is you're like, well, he can do it. Why can't I? So, so that's something great that obviously you guys have going for each other. And it's just awesome that you guys can help each other, and going back to that, actually, is there anything that you can remember giving to Andrew?
Oh,
that if you could think of something.
I don't know, maybe.
I'm sure there's probably been a few good one-liners that you've given to him, about maybe, shots at him a little bit, but
maybe to throw a strike at one point. I'm sure I've told him just like throw a strike, kid.
Just throw a strike.
Like throw a freaking strike. Like, when you're down 3-0 or 2-0, whatever. But yeah, I can't think of maybe a specific moment, but definitely I remember I have said that. I know that.
I like the throw a strike, kid. I think that one's pretty good. So, sometimes it's as simple as that. Just, hey, man, throw a strike.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
Coaches that have inspired you or helped you, do you have any people like that have really advanced your career over your life?
Yeah. So first, starting from a young age, I would say my dad. He coached my little league teams, and he taught me how to play the game the right way. He taught me how to play hard. He taught me to always keep going. But another coach who just taught me a lot about the little things about the game would be, his name's Matt Jones. Coach Jones. I played for him in Diamonds for years. He taught me a ton about the game. So I really appreciate that, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
That's fantastic. And it sounds like you had a really good support structure around you. I mean, with your dad, obviously that's a big part of a lot of athletes' lives is, dads, families, brothers, bringing that collective around you of just keeping your head on straight and keeping you going down the path that's going to lead you to success. And so it sounds like you had a really good support structure. And
I did.
It's no surprise where you are now. So obviously that's fantastic. So Aryn, obviously, going into your freshman year at Davenport this upcoming season, what would be some of your biggest goals while you're going into this?
Yeah. I would say definitely to win the GLIAC again would be a big one. They won it this year, so we're trying to be repeat back-to-back champs and to make a run in the tournament, and as well as trying to strike out about a batter per inning.
Honestly, with your brother being such a big influence in your life and seeing the path he's taken to, his dreams currently, would you like to see yourself follow kind of a similar path to his, or do you kind of want to forge your own path?
Yeah. Well, in a way, I kind of want to do both, if that makes sense, because I'm my own person. So, but I want to be able to continue playing baseball as long as I can, hopefully professionally someday, somewhere. But yeah, but I am forging my own path. I'm doing it a little differently. So I'm excited.
It sounds like a very exciting time. And
yeah,
I mean, obviously, I think that there's a very good chance that we see you in the GLIAC tournament, which would be awesome. I think that Davenport's going to go back. That's my opinion.
Think so.
They're a pretty good team. They had a pretty good pitching staff last year. So
they had a great pitching staff.
So, it's awesome to see what they're doing up there. So, going along with that, how would you personally define success? A lot of guys will define it through stats. Some people define it through, team success. Like, how would you define it?
Yeah, I would define it in a couple of ways. So there is the personal aspect. Like, if you pitch a terrible game and you win, yeah, the team won, but you're not going to be like the happiest that you pitched terrible, right?
Right.
So I would say definitely team success is definitely the most important. But I do care about how I pitch or how I play. So I think I measure success just by how the team does and how I do, like if I go 6 innings or if I go 5 innings or if I go 7 innings or
right,
or how many strikeouts I have or how much weak contact I generated, just like stuff like that.
Right. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds. You obviously would love it if the team continues to have success.
Right.
But on the other hand, you're like, well, obviously I want to have some success of my own as well, because that'll help.
That will influence, right?
Exactly. That'll help the team do better.
Right.
So that's another great thing. Outside of baseball, what drives you? What are like the values outside of baseball for you? What truly at the end of the day matters?
Well, I think family. I think family and connecting with people. I think family is everything, and family and community. So what drives me is to make my family proud and make my family name proud, I would say.
That is a fantastic answer, because that is what
Thank you.
I think a lot of people want to do, especially, you want to leave your own mark, but also make the people that raised you and helped you along the way proud.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of us kids, now sadly adult, I'm 25 years old now. I'm old man now, but I just hope that one day that we all can leave our own mark and make everybody proud that is around us. So that's a great answer. That's really, really cool to see a person as young and youthful as you are to say something.
We're not too far different.
We're not that far off. Thanks for making me feel young. I do appreciate that. So handling adversity and future things that might come up. How do you, when things get tough on the mound, what goes through your head and how do you kind of battle those things?
Yeah. So I think I can definitely struggle, especially with pitching, with overthinking just in general. It's just, some normal anxiety, whatever it is. But the way that I try to keep thinking it is just keep going and eventually it's going to end. So kind of like I said earlier, you got to weather the storm, fan the flames, but do whatever you can. And just I try to control what I can control. And outside of that, I try not to spend too much time worrying about it. So
that's a really good point. And, this is more of a fun topic a little bit, but, when you go down 3-0, right, you're down 3-0, that's kind of that staying grounded thing. So what's kind of your attack plan for not to give too much away, because we don't want to give too much away to the opponents, but, what would you say is kind of like your bread and butter of like thinking 3-0?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the curveball.
The curveball.
Yeah, because nobody's really sitting on it. So, and when you drop that in there, and they look at you like you're crazy. So, because a lot of people, especially if they're down 3-0, they might not be able to command the curveball. So you gotta be able to command it and just you kind of drop it in there. So it's perfect.
Just get that easy, curveball strike right off the bat. Just get back into it.
And then they're thinking, what if he comes back with a heater? What if he goes changeup? What if he goes back to the curveball? Now you got him thinking a little bit. And that's what, when hitters are thinking too much, that's when good things happen for the pitcher.
And that's the game. Right. That's the game, because we all know that pitchers are probably the people thinking the most out there. Truthfully, they're like I said, I see it all the time with MLB to your age to, even Andrews, in the minors.
Mhm.
It's always a game of the next pitch. What am I going to throw next? Why am I going to throw it? And it's incredible to see how your mind works. And I think that speaks to how smart of a person you are as well. You've got a great mind. You've got a great future ahead of yourself, and I'm super excited for it.
Me too.
All I can say is thank you so much for coming on to the Fourth Quarter Finish podcast and being our first in-person interview.
Sweet.
So very excited for that, and see if we can't make this a more common occurrence.
Yeah.
But, obviously, thank you so much for coming on, Aryn.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Quarter Finish podcast. Please like and subscribe. To support the athletes that are featured, check out their personal links down below. Fourth Quarter Finish, hard-hitting takes.